10 most common misconceptions about the Philippines. These are the 10 most common misconceptions about the Philippines and the Filipinos. We may have heard most of these. Most of them are not actually entirely true. But to set things straight, we made this video, and hope you'll somehow be aware, so as to see the Philippines in a different light. Number 1. Philippines is a dangerous country. While that may be true to very few places in the country like Sulu, Basilan, and Marawi City, all of which are from Mindanao, which is actually 1,350 miles from the country's capital city, Philippines generally has a peaceful environment. Like any other countries around the world, the Philippines is not 100% spared from some petty thieves in the streets of Manila and any other cities. Other than that, you can actually enjoy traveling the country safely. The people are very friendly, especially to tourists, both foreigners and locals. Number 2. Philippines is a very poor country. Yes, Philippines is a third world country. But it is also one of the promising countries today. The Philippines has some of the largest and most beautiful malls in the world. SM Mall of Asia, SM North EDSA, and Ayala malls are just some of them. So if you feel like shopping while traveling, you always have malls you can go to. Philippines is also home to many 5-star hotels like Okada, Conrad, Fairmont, Peninsula, Discovery Primea, Marco Polo, and many more. Not to mention those hotels near beach resorts. It also has a lot of exclusive villages and subdivisions. There are also low, mid, and high-rise condominiums in the cities. Recreation and entertainment centers are also abundant in the country. According to the most recent update from PSA 2018, Philippines has 16.6% of population on poverty. Definitely lower than the 60% below poverty line of North Korea, Nepal, Tajikistan, and many more. Number 3. Filipinos cannot speak English very well. According to a report by EF's English Proficiency Index, the Philippines ranks number 20 among the non-native English-speaking countries around the world. It's no surprise that with their command of the language, Filipinos are leveraging on their ability to read, write, and speak English. This skill serves as a strategic business advantage for foreign investors looking to start a business in the Philippines. The Philippines has been studying the English language since 1901, when the Thomasites arrived in the island to establish a public school system. They started teaching Filipino teachers using English as medium of instruction. More than 100 years of learning English, I'd like to think that they learned the language pretty well. Matter of fact, foreigners are usually impressed when Filipinos speak English fluently. Conversations in the Philippines are usually in English or Taglish, if not Filipino. Almost all of the textbooks are in the English language as well. Except of course, when the subject is Filipino. Koreans and other non-English speaking nationalities go to the Philippines to learn English. Sometimes they do it online with a Filipino teacher. So it really shouldn't be a surprise when you meet a Filipino who can converse in the English language very well. The literacy rate of the country is at 94%. And 70% of the population are fluent in English, making them one of the largest English-speaking countries in the world. Number 4. Philippines have weird and exotic foods. Although the Philippines has some exotic foods like balut, or fertilized boiled duck egg, adidas, or chicken feet, and Betamax, or grilled pig's blood, shaped in squares, their dishes are always next to awesome. In a 2017 interview, Anthony Bourdain, a well-known chef and food critic, lauded Filipino food as America's next big thing. He believed that American taste buds were finally ready for the bold flavors and the sour notes that characterize some Filipino dishes. Even celebrity chef Gordon Ramsay also once was all praises for the Filipino-inspired burger, and even recognized that the contestant used the local bread pan de sal in Good Morning America's cooking contest segment. "It's seasoned beautifully," he said. "And the bun, that's a traditional Filipino bread. It's delicious." Well, not that Filipinos really care about foreign chefs' reviews about their dishes, but for them, to taste is to believe. So if you are touring the Philippines, you should try some of their dishes and partner it with a cup of rice, which is what Filipinos normally do. Try the famous sinigang na baboy, nilagang baka, tinolang manok, crispy pata, sisig, and many more. Number 5. Philippines is an ugly, dirty, polluted country. Although Philippines has some places that are like what is described in this part, not all are the same, and it's not really that bad. To some, they may describe it like as if you'll end up poisoned with its bad air circulating in the metro, and stray animals defecating all over the place. Well, sorry to say, but it's not entirely true. The thing is, the government and its concerned people are doing something about it. Look at the Manila Bay before. Then compare it now. Point being, there are a lot, as in a lot, of places you can visit which are clean, beautiful and fresh like Boracay, Palawan, Davao City, Ilocos, Baton's, and many others. It's for you to find out when you visit, or you can just Google them. Number 6. Philippines cities has the worst traffic situation in the world. EDSA, or Epifanio de los Santos Avenue, is a 24-kilometer highway that connects the cities in the NCR, or National Capital Region. Whenever you say traffic, Filipinos always connect it to EDSA. Like in the previous part of this video, we can say that it's not entirely true. EDSA is just one road. The other roads are just fine. Today, more roads are actually built, and are being built to decongest EDSA, which is a good thing. So to say that Philippines has the worst traffic situation in the world, well, you can be wrong in a couple of years. Wait until you see. Number 7. Philippines has a mediocre education system. Again, this is a common misconception which is not really accurate. Philippines has had public school systems since 1863 with the passage of the Education Reform Act in the Spanish courts. Again, that's public school system. Which means, those who can afford even before 1863 are able to go to school and get good education. The University of Santo Tomas, UST, was established in 1611. 25 years before Harvard University was established. You can say earliest is not always the best, and we agree. But the point is, Filipinos are being educated since time immemorial. I'd like to think that they must have developed different pedagogies in teaching that's tailor-fit to their people. In fact, last September 23, 2020, University of the Philippines, or UP, despite its meager resources, has outranked some of the world's top universities, including Oxford, Cambridge and Harvard, in a global index in terms of its clinical, preclinical and health research citations in the latest World University Rankings. Number 8. Filipinos are all Roman Catholic Christians. Filipinos are predominantly Roman Catholics. About 80.6% of its population is. But there are also other Christian denominations, which make up about 11%. This is mainly because of the religion that was introduced by the Spaniards in 1521. However, before the Spaniards arrived in the Philippines, the religions present include animism, indigenous religious beliefs and mythologies such as Anito, and influences from Hinduism and Buddhism. Islam, on the other hand, makes up for 5.6% of Philippines' population. So to say that Filipinos are all Roman Catholics are not entirely accurate. Number 9. Filipinos are just domestic helpers and nurses. While there are thousands of Filipino nurses and domestic helpers working abroad, we cannot remove the fact that they also have people excelling in other fields like engineers and construction workers in the Middle East. Many Filipino expats find consistent work in the construction and labor sectors. For example, the 2010 and 2011 earthquakes in Christchurch, New Zealand, caused significant damage to the city. Much of this needed to be rebuilt through the efforts of both skilled and unskilled construction workers. Filipino workers were targeted for these positions because of their reputation for a strong work ethic and excellent skills. Filipinos are also commonly employed as seasonal workers in New Zealand, where there is great demand for unskilled labor. Factories also desire Filipino workers, particularly if you have skills in welding, electronics, and machine repair. Many countries also have a high demand for plumbers and electricians. There is a current shortage for these practical skills, and therefore those that have them are paid fairly and have high job security. Filipino teachers are also highly valued for their usually excellent English skills in this country. Teachers are also in high demand in more remote and rural areas, making this a good career choice. Number 10. Filipinos travel only for work. It's true that a lot of Filipinos work abroad. After all, they are known to be very patient, caring, and intelligent. They are also known to take their jobs seriously since their bread and butter depends on it. That's why a lot of foreign employers are impressed with the quality of the work they deliver. But what some foreigners don't know is that it's not exactly the only reason why Filipinos leave our country from time to time. If it's not to visit their family members who have chosen to live somewhere else in the world, they go abroad to explore and travel too. It comes as a surprise to some foreigners that you're on a trip merely to have a vacation. Prior to the COVID-19 pandemic, Filipinos would normally wait for airline promos here and there, and book months, or even a year in advance to be able to travel for vacation purposes. So when people say that Filipinos travel solely for work, well, that is not quite true.